Lawmakers in both chambers are racing to act on an avalanche of bills today, aiming to pass dozens of pieces of legislation before the current session ends tomorrow, and then send them to Governor Murphy's desk for a signature before he leaves office next Tuesday. One of those bills that just passed both houses would expand some of the state's corporate tax incentive programs by billions of dollars and extend new tax subsidies to Newark's Prudential Center. The bill advanced in Trenton over the objections of critics. Senior correspondent Brenda Flanagan is here to give us all the details as part of our Under the Dome series. Brenda, what can you tell us?
Hey, Joanna. So some controversial votes today over at the State House over giving big tax breaks to corporations in New Jersey. One measure would commit more than $250 million tax dollars to help renovate a major sports arena, the Prudential Center in Newark. It's home to the New Jersey Devils hockey team, but it's hosted more than 3,000 events and 23 million visitors since it opened about 18 years ago, Devils execs say. They claim The Rock needs a makeover, and they're hoping a legislative power play will help them score $300 million in tax breaks. That'd pay for 80% of a major upgrade.
A renovated Prudential Center keeps those big-time events coming back to New Jersey. It keeps those fans coming back to New Jersey. It keeps those tourism dollars in New Jersey. And it creates the international exposure for New Jersey that only those big-time events can bring.
Now, that's Devils President Jake Reynolds, who spoke before both the Senate and Assembly Appropriations Committees last week. He noted The Rock needs to remain competitive with venues like MSG and the Barclay Center, and that in return for those tax breaks, the Devils would extend their lease and guarantee jobs and 150% return on New Jersey's investment. But opponents didn't like the timing or the terms of this corporate tax break.
Implicit in this is the threat of leaving the Prudential Center, which is what sports teams across the country have threatened in order to try to milk states for more and bigger tax benefits. And the only way to win this game is not to play at all. New Jersey can't fall into the trap of throwing more good money after bad and trying to subsidize billionaire sports owners for benefits that may never materialize.
We were already seeing a lot of people struggling with food and housing costs and healthcare costs, but now, given the federal budget cuts, those community needs are unbelievable, and there are a lot of community priorities and needs that we should be putting ahead for human needs issues, that we should be putting ahead of $300 million for the Prudential Center.
We firmly do believe in economic development, revitalization, and doing that strategically and in the right way. That is why we do oppose this bill. We do oppose the fact that, one company and one company alone is going to benefit from the $300 million, up to the $300 million renovation with an 80% discount on those renovations that are being made, as is spelled out in the bill. And so once again, I do urge you to vote no.
Now, critics argued New Jersey can't afford to give up millions in future tax revenues, but Senate Committee Chair Paul Sarlo noted The Rock will still have to negotiate those details with both incoming Sherrill administration and New Jersey Economic Development Authority, and also with the city of Newark, which owns the actual building.
When we do these programs, we like to have them work with the surrounding areas. They'll work with the city to develop a master plan for either blighted or abandoned properties around the Prudential. You're committed to that?
Yes, sir. We have been actively engaged with Mayor Baraka and his team on that.
This is not a cash check. This is ensuring that Newark stays revitalized and becomes the cornerstone for an economic engine and development and a source of pride. People throughout this state have tropes and stereotypes about the district that I represent.
Bill sponsor Senator Teresa Ruiz also argued attending events at The Rock would help visitors overcome negative stereotypes of Newark. That's the same argument that was made passionately in the Assembly Committee by sponsor Eliana Pinto-Marin, who praised the Prudential Center.
If they were to pack up and leave, the economic detriment that it would cause the city of Newark, my home base in the Ironbound, would be substantial. So you're right, I am upset, and I apologize, Chairwoman, because to me, this is personal. This is about continuing to move the city of Newark.
Renovations would include upgraded electrical, lighting, flooring, concessions, the works, and it would be done in phases. During the Devils' off-season, Democrats on the Assembly Committee backed the bill, but while Republicans acknowledged they like going to shows and games at the Rock, they called the bill and the legislative process, quote, appalling.
We have here a bill that was written by representatives for billionaires so that they can receive hundreds of millions of dollars to pay millionaires to play a kid's game so they can turn around and charge Joe Sixpack $100 for a ticket, $16 for a Bud Light, and take his tax money to subsidize it on top of it. It's just not right.
Now, Assemblyman Jay Weber also criticized cramming these bills through the legislature during the lame duck session. He and other Assembly Committee Republicans voted no, but the bill easily cleared both committees. The Assembly just voted 49-22 to pass the bill, and the Senate also passed it 33-4, Joanna.
Yeah, Brenda, I got to ask you, that $300 million for the Rock isn't the only corporate tax subsidy bill that's up for a vote. Is that right?
That's right. There's other measures that would boost the overall cap that's placed on corporate tax subsidies available in New Jersey to more than $14 billion. Currently, it's limited to $11.5 billion. And there's another bill that would modify, critics say weaken, standards that the state analysts use to check whether all of these big corporate tax breaks actually show any real benefits for New Jersey taxpayers. That one has already passed the Assembly, Joanna.
All right, Brenda, great analysis. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joanna.
Under the Dome is made possible in part by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people.